Hey guys, this is my review for Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. So in this game you play as a guy who's being captured by the slavers, put on a ship, and then you're trying to escape, and you run into this girl who puts an enslaver's mask on you, and she's altered the code so that it only responds to her rather than the slavers. And then she basically controls you and forces you to take her to her family's home. So then you have to protect her from the slavers while trying to get through the city, so that you can take her home, and if she dies, then you die, since like the mask has this weird psychic link thing, and pretty much she controls you because whatever she says you have to do. So you run around the map trying to protect her. The game style is basically just like obstacle courses, and you're just jumping around from like random places to other random places, just trying to get to a certain area to complete the objective from the mission. So it's not like a super difficult game or requires a lot of thinking, since most items are really shiny that you have to jump to. It's a very set puzzles for the maps, so it's not difficult at all. You just pretty much just jump in a certain direction until you get there, and then go either backwards, or there'll be some sort of extra thing you can do to get down to wherever you need to go next. So there's no real exploration to this game. This game is very similar to Prince of Persia, if you've ever played that series. I'd probably say it's identical, except that they've just changed it to say, to make it more sci-fi and make it more like setting into this theme for the game that they've set. Otherwise, if they changed all the meshes back to Prince of Persia, I'd probably say it is a Prince of Persia game. But yeah, I do like the storyline to this game. It's very interesting. I thought it was quite good. Playing the game through and getting all the story with it. You get to learn more about the characters and about what's been happening in this world, since the game is set in like a post-apocalyptic Earth, like 100 years after all the civilizations on the planet ended or whatever happened. So yeah, so you're basically just running around trying to stop the slavers who have taking humans that are still alive to their random pyramid thing, which is where like they keep them all. And no one really knows what's been happening at the pyramid, since no one survives who goes there or ever comes back after being taken to the pyramid. But yeah, so the combat in this game is basically you either can use your ranged weapon as long as you have ammo, and the ranged weapon can either shoot like attacking bullets, which reduce their health, or you can stun them. And then you've got your staff, which you can use to different moves and blocking and attacking with. And then you've also got a shield on your character, which your staff also uses when you block. It uses up your shield power. And then you've got your health bar as well. And you can get different upgrades for your character for either your health, ranged weapon, staff, or your shield. And you get this weird like tech orbs, which you can use to upgrade your character, which is basically like experience points, I guess. It's basically all you use. The maps are very set, very like strict paths. You can't really go off exploring anywhere, as you get like a message saying you're going too far away from the girl who you're linked to, and then you'll die, or you'll basically run into like a bunch of mines, which will blow you up if you get too close, because they insta-kill you. Even with fully upgraded health, they still kill you the moment you get in their range. Sometimes their range is a little bit off, and you just die randomly, even though you probably shouldn't have. The game is definitely made for console, not computer. There's like a few bugs in it, and a few other controls, particularly with what direction to jump in when you're doing the obstacle courses, and aiming with your staff was kind of annoying. I think it would have been better with the analog sticks on a controller, because you can get more accuracy with choosing which direction to jump in. On a keyboard it's kind of annoying, since you've only got left, forward, backwards and right. You don't have any sort of like angles like on a controller. So that was kind of annoying, but I think it's pretty typical in this sort of game. Prince of Persia probably does it better than Enslaved, but I've been doing like computer versions of the game for ages compared to Enslaved, which seem to just port it over the computer. There were a few bugs in this game. If you're going to play it, definitely play it on highest graphic settings. It's unplayable on low. I think about the 4th stage you run into a bug where basically a robot rams into a wall, and if you're playing on low, then the wall doesn't break because it's not got high enough settings to show the animation of the wall breaking. So you have to play it on high, even though I didn't notice any differences between high and low, so you probably won't notice any performance like issues if you were worried about having to play the game, or worried about being able to run it. So pretty much you should be able to play it on high or low, no matter what sort of like specs you're running. But otherwise, if you think you'll only be able to run it on low, don't bother buying it because you won't be able to play it. It just doesn't work on low. There's just too many bugs during the game for it to actually work, which is really weird that they didn't like notice that during testing. But they might have just like rushed over to PC rather than doing a full testing like they did for PlayStation and Xbox. This game has boss fights which are really simple. Basically you just stun them and then hit them and then do some random like either shoot something or make them charge you by taunting, or break a certain part of them and then chase them and do a takedown. So there's not like any real challenge to boss fight really. It's just basic hitting and then moving on. I don't think there's anything too unique to this game compared to a Prince of Persia game. Probably the only thing is that you have a hoverboard which you can use in, I think, like in certain areas of the world, and you basically just use the hoverboard to get to weird places to pick stuff up. So it's not a super unique game. I did like the storyline a lot and the graphics were pretty good. I like the environments that they've set the game in, they all look pretty amazing. Probably there's like a couple things that I would definitely change about the game if I got the chance, but I mean, I definitely like more different bad guys. The bad guys at the moment are really basic, the combat's really simple, there's not a huge challenge to it. Definitely more difficult boss fights, but I'm glad they didn't do the whole button pressing thing. You just like have to memorize a certain order in which to attack a boss, because I really hate games that do that. The characters are really good in the game, they're really easy to get on with. Like, I think the only one you hate is the big man, which I think is random, but you kind of like, you understand the characters in the game, which is good. It's not just a distant playing the game, focusing on the game sort of thing. So it's definitely worth playing. There's no real replayability to this game. Once you've played it once, you'll know how to beat it. If you were to ever play it again, you know all the tricks to the game, pretty much. So there's no point replaying it unless you really liked it. But I don't like it that much to want to replay it again. Even on a higher difficulty, I don't think it would be that much difficult. Difficulty-wise, it's basically just the combat of the game, like over to how much damage the enemy does or how hard they are to kill. So there's not a whole lot of difficulty in that aspect, since, I mean, you can pretty much upgrade your staff so that one shot kills whatever enemy you're attacking, which I think is ridiculous, because, I mean, I get that you're upgrading it and you're going to the effort to get the amount of tech points to be able to upgrade it, but still, I mean, if you can one hit an enemy, it's kind of, I think, taking it too far, especially since you can get that upgrade really early, which sort of just annoyed me. You can't upgrade your attack damage on your melee staff though, which is good, I guess, since they're making it slightly harder, but still, I mean, they probably should have thought about more about the gameplay and making it more harder, rather than just being really simple puzzles that are very easy to work out. I don't think there's anything difficult in this game. Like climbing and stuff, you just look around and it will be like blinking on your screen wherever you're meant to climb. So it's not difficult to find where you're meant to go or anything like that. It's very easy, especially since there's no exploration to this game. You just always are going in a straight like sort of path to wherever your goal is, and it's always nicely laid out for you. But yeah, it's just my opinion of the game. If you agree with it or don't agree with it, drop what you thought of the game in the comments below this video. Otherwise, if I had to rate it, I'd give it a 7 out of 10, because it's not It's not the best game I've played, especially since it's very similar to a lot of the other games like the Prince of Persia series out there. It's not unique enough to get like a super amazing score, but still, it was really fun. Definitely worth playing through once if you're thinking about playing it. But yeah, so I'm only going to give it a 7 out of 10. Okay guys, see ya.